Hello and welcome to Test Automation. If you are a manual tester looking to transition into automation testing, you're not alone. Many testers are making this shift as automation becomes more important in the software development process. In this chapter, we'll talk about how you can best plan this transition step by step and also give you hands-on how to automate your first test automation script. Okay? This is not just a theory. We're going to get you into automating and creating test automation scripts. All right, let's get started. Let's talk about how you can transition from manual testing to automated testing if you have never had any experience with automation or programming languages in general. Manual testing is essential, but as software systems become more complex, the need for faster and more reliable testing has grown. Automation testing allows you to run tests faster and cover more scenarios and also catch bugs that might be missed manually. By learning automation, you'll expand your skill set and also increase your value in the industry. If you've been on the fence whether you should learn automation, or if you're lacking the confidence, or if you're scared that you will be able to do it or not, let me tell you that anybody can learn. You have nothing to worry about because there are testing tools, test automation tools that are very, very easy to pick up with just a little bit of effort. Okay. And then you can gradually build your skills on top of it. And this chapter is mainly focused on this and just for manual testers transitioning from manual testing to automation. And we picked a tool that is very, very easy to learn. And we're going to cover that on how to do this, how to create your test scripts, first test scripts using a tool called Cypress. Okay. And we're going to talk more about this tool. But by the end of this, you should be able to create an automation script all by yourself. And we're going to make you confident in how to use that tool. I know this is short, relatively speaking, because automation is so huge and vast, but you don't want to overwhelm yourself. Okay? At Relevant Technologies, we are all about giving you information that you can use and implement it, not just learn and forget, but put it to use. So we created this chapter specifically for you so you can create your first test script and be confident in setting a path towards becoming a test automation engineer. Or you don't have to fully transition also. You can add automation to your existing work and you can offload a lot of manual tasks and repetitive tasks. Okay, and we're going to show you how to do that. In order for you to transition, there are a few steps that you can take, to make this path much easier for you. And the first step is about understanding why you want to transition. And we just talked about why it's important to transition to automated testing because of how the industry is growing. And also with AI becoming so popular, things are slowly going to shift and the role of software tester is going to look a lot more different in few years to come. So it's important that you pick up some kind of automation tool that you can use in your testing. All right. So first understand why you want to transition to automated testing. That'll help you set a path towards your learning. Okay. And then assess your current skills. The first step in your transition is to assess where you are now. Take stock of your current testing skills. What do you excel at in manual testing? Understanding test cases, planning test strategies, or maybe defect tracking? These skills are still valuable in automation. And knowing them well will help you make the transition much smoother. Then you have to learn basics of programming. Automation testing requires some knowledge of programming. Start by learning the basics of a programming language that's commonly used in automation like Python, Java, or JavaScript. You don't need to be a software engineer. But understanding how to write simple scripts, loops, and conditions is essential. And the next step is choose an automation tool to focus on. Selenium is one of the most popular tools for web applications, but there are other tools like Cypress that we're going to look at in this chapter. Then you have JUnit for Java, TestNG, or tools for mobile testing like Appium. Pick any tool. Pick a tool that is widely used in your industry, okay? That you can immediately adapt and use it. And also pick a tool that aligns with your interests. If you understand and learn one programming language well, that's important in order to secure a job that requires automation. And you can always add new programming languages and new tools as you go. Spend time learning how to set up these tools, create test scripts, and run those tests. Okay, and we're going to do that in this chapter. And the next step is to practice on real projects. Once you've got a handle on the basics, start practicing. Try automating some of the manual test cases you've worked on before. If possible, take on small automation tasks in your current role. You don't have to ask permission or you don't have to advertise it. You can always create automation scripts for your own use. Okay, that's how I started. I didn't ask for permission. I just started creating automation scripts that made my life easier as a manual tester when I first started out 20 years ago. Okay, so the key is to get hands on experience. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll become with automation. And also, it's important that you practice this on your own. That way, there's no pressure on you. And you have more time to learn, and it's more flexible that way. And you can try different programming languages, different tools to see what tool you like the best. Because everybody has their own preference. Some people love Java, and I love Python, just because you don't need all that syntax of Java and then compile it. I prefer interpreted languages like Python, and it's very light on syntax and it's very easy to learn. And also, it's very fast because it's built on top of C, which I love. I first started learning programming languages using embedded programming like C and C++. And I love C, and that's why probably I love Python, even though I've done Java and extensive Java, but somehow I'm more inclined towards using Python more. That's why I said everybody has their own preference, and there's nothing wrong, Java or Python. It does not matter. Whatever works for you, whatever you like using. So you wouldn't know unless you try it. So definitely pick any tool, how you like it and what you think about it, and then you can adopt it. Okay. So definitely practice on real projects in your current company. Take your existing test cases, for example, that you have to repeat again and again, and automate them. Okay. And then you can learn from others. It's a great way to accelerate your transition. You can join online forums. You can participate in discussions related to automated testing, and you can join an automation testing community, that is very active. That way you can ask questions and share experiences and learn from others. And also create a learning plan for yourself. To stay on track, create a learning plan. Set specific goals for what you want to learn each week or month, whether it's mastering a new tool, writing more complex scripts, or completing an automation project. Having a plan helps keep you motivated and ensures that you're consistently making progress. And that's how I started. When I first started learning Python, I'd given myself a month or so to learn the programming language, and I practiced on my own. Even though I had learned Python in my master's, but I hadn't used it in a very long time. If you're not using a language, or if you're not using a tool, for real projects, it's difficult to learn ins and outs of any tool. So I would recommend that you spend some dedicated time in learning any language or any tool, consistently and set a plan for yourself. What do you want to use it for and how do you want to take it up and how to track your progress. And then leverage your manual testing experience. Remember, your experience in manual testing is a huge asset. Don't undermine it. These two are not separate, by the way. Manual testing and automation testing, don't compartmentalize them. Okay. Use your knowledge of test case design, defect tracking, and quality assurance to create better automation tests. You need to be a good tester to write good test automation. So there are software developers who could write test scripts, easily because they understand the programming language. But is that efficient? Not exactly, because you need to have the mindset of tester. You need to have the mindset of quality assurance and testing, and you understand more than anybody else. You understand, as manual testers, you understand how to think like a tester. So you can write better test automation scripts than somebody who has great programming knowledge or experience. Okay. So never think that because you don't have programming experience or knowledge that you're not going to be great at test automation. Remember, test automation is more than learning or understanding programming language. Yes, you need to understand the basics. You need to understand how to create frameworks and things like that, which comes later, by the way. Don't worry about frameworks. We're just focusing on writing scripts. So writing good scripts and what goes into it, right? That's more important. What is your script doing? It is not about having a fancy script, but what is the script doing? That's more important. And that only a tester can understand better. Okay. And last but not the least, automation testing is an ever evolving field. So continuous learning is very important. Keep up with new tools, techniques, and best practices. Transition from manual to automation testing is a big step, but with the right approach, it's completely achievable. Start with the basics, practice regularly, and keep learning. It's okay if you don't become a great automation engineer overnight, right? That's not even possible. But it's okay if you start learning the basics and eventually you'll be great at writing scripts. Okay, that's how I learned, right? I didn't become a test architect overnight. It started by me writing simple shell scripts. Okay, simple scripts using shell scripting and writing scripts in Python for my own sake, for automating my own manual test cases. Nobody asked me to do it, but I wanted to offload some of my work by automating. Then later I became good at scripting in Python, and then I added creating robust frameworks and also picked up different, tools and different scripting languages while working at different companies because they had different tools and programming languages. But that didn't happen overnight. It took some time, right? And that's how real world is, right? So start with the basics and you can practice regularly and, you'll reach that goal if that's what your goal is, to become a good test automation engineer, or maybe just adding automation to your work. All right. So I wish you all the best in this journey, and I'm here to help you pick up one of those tools that'll make your life easier. Okay, so let's move on.